Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Chaos Child, and we are continuing Kazuki's route, and we were, I guess, just gonna start talking to Nightheart again on ESO2, so, anyway. A minute later, I booted up ESO2 and saw that Nightheart was logged in as well. I decided to talk to him immediately. Hold on. Did you see the news this afternoon on Fujisan TV? No, not in real time. I saw what got uploaded to the net later. Achan's having a festival. Things are starting to go the way they did 6 years ago. Remember the DQM puzzle? Read the wiki. He was enjoying all this. I feel, you know what I mean? That's why I feel like it's shady and that, like, maybe he had something to do with it. You know what I mean? What an asshole. No, but I guess I was the same when I was following the return of the new generation madness with the newspaper club. Jokes aside, the news broadcast was bad news. This isn't just about Shibuya anymore. The committee might take action soon. Who? The Committee of 300. You know them? No. Basically, they're a vast organization that controls the world from the shadows. Sounds like bullshit. 100% agree. But it exists anyway. And they might take action. Might be a war, possibly. A war? I don't know what you mean. You might be happier not knowing. I'll look into it on my side. If something comes up, I'll tell you. What are the chances it's because of Kazuki's power? The hell else could it be? You saw that portal device. Yeah. Just so we're sure, the portal device didn't move. This is the second one, right? Yes, I just had a friend go look for me and it was still there. Gotcha. So do you think it's possible we'll see the woman who attacked us again? You mean she might not really be dead? I get it. You're seriously thinking she might have been sent to another portal device. No. Isn't it possible that there was a second portal device that appeared on Monday night and we just didn't notice it? I know I said I was sure she was dead before because there was only one portal, but even if there were two, I can't imagine her surviving a teleport. If you could actually reboot something like that, it would be the greatest discovery in human history. I'd want it for myself. But that monster doesn't exist either, and it's out there. Huh, got me there. The F-Arch-DRG, oh, that's the dragon thing, that ate the reporter ate that cop after that. F-Arch-DRG? Flame Arch Dragon, duh. If it can make a dragon, it should be able to make a portal device. She might still be alive. Why not go look then? Find out how many portal devices have appeared in Shibuya. Find out if anything besides the F-Arch DRG real booted. Oh, I can't help, by the way. Gotta grind in ESO too. Weren't you supposed to look into the Committee of 300? Yeah, obviously. I was trying to end things with a gag so this wouldn't get too serious. Sorry, but I'm not in Shibuya right now. If the committee intervenes, it's gonna get bad real fast. So I'm going to spend my time on that. Tell Kazuki there's no need to play ESO2 for a while. Lol. Wow. He types faster than I can read. A vast conspiracy that controls the world from the shadows, huh? So, like, it's interesting because, like, in the main path, you're like, they bring up this committee and they're like, there's, like, a committee, and then it ends, and you're like, the fuck? But, I mean, it makes more sense. There's now, like, that it plays into other routes. That sounded like bullshit. Even movies didn't have plots like that these days. Okay, the committee, that sounds like bullshit. Yeah, but there's also a dragon running around Shibuya, so I'm just gonna say that's the most feasible thing. Since there was nothing I could do about that, I'd leave it to Nightheart. What was more important to us was the portal device. Investigate it, huh? Kazuki was looking angrily at the log of my conversation with Nightheart. I gritted my teeth, too. Even if we did investigate the portal device, what were we supposed to do then? If it was created by Kazuki, would we be able to destroy it or get rid of it? If we go and she's like, delete portal device, and we think about deleting the portal device, maybe it'll delete. No, that's part of what we're investigating, right? Even if she couldn't control her powers, it was Kazuki who'd created it. She couldn't pretend to ignore it. There was even a dragon running around now. More people could die. I guess we don't have a choice, huh? We might be attacked out of nowhere like we were before. That's why I hadn't wanted to leave, but it wasn't tough enough to just leave something that dangerous out there and hide in here forever. I mean, like I laughed about the dragon last time, and then it ate that lady, and but it's so fucking absurd. And now we're like, yeah, and there's a dragon out there. I guess we gotta go out. And you're like, and now all of a sudden it's just there's a dragon out there. This seems insane, but okay. What? Ugh. I ran to Harajuku and got a cell phone so I'd be able to keep in touch with the others, and then called Sarika after school. Okay, but did he not say he missed a bunch of calls from Sarika and whatever when he didn't have a cell phone before? So that was definitely a loophole. Hello, I'm not crazy.
Oh, what's up, Taku? Feel like coming to school? But too bad, they closed it after lunch.
Closed it?
Shibuya was sealed off, right? So they closed the school too.
I see. Where are you now, Shibuya?
Atlax, this place isn't sealed off.
Perfect, I need your help. I told her I wanted to know how many portal devices had appeared in Shibuya.
I don't mind helping, but...
What?
Nan's right in front of me, and she's telling you not to do anything dangerous. I can feel the silent pressure telling me to put her on the phone.
I see. So Kurusu was with her too? Of course, I could understand why she'd be mad. Just like Sarika had said, after the shocking incident on the news this afternoon, the police had sealed off Shibuya over the course of a few hours. Yeah, but it's a dragon and it has wings. Can't it just, like, fly? I guess maybe it can. The wings are just decorative. It's like, I can't really... But I'm like, that's not gonna help unless you got, like, a magic fucking dome force field. The number of people on the streets was dropping fast. Supposedly, the National Diet was holding a debate about bringing in the self-defense forces. Of course, they still hadn't gotten rid of the portal device or the flame dragon. Kurusu probably wanted to tell me that there was nothing an amateur like me could do. But this wasn't like the other investigations the newspaper club had done. I glanced over at Kazuki. She was looking down silently. You may not believe this, but that monster that showed up might be me and Kazuki's fault.
Huh? What do you mean?
I can't talk much about it. Just know that we're not doing this because we're curious. I want to find a way to get rid of that monster and those devices.
I see.
My voice is a little hoarse, can't quite do Sarika right now. I guess that wasn't enough to persuade her. Or so I thought.
Okay, I'll persuade Nan.
Really?
Oh, and Shin really wanted you to call him. Why not ask him for help? I'm sure he'd love it.
Oh, yeah, I'll try.
So, are you going to stay with Hana? Are the two of you going to work together?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Alright, maybe I'll go from Shinsen toward Shibuya Station. I can have a walking date with Nan.
Thanks.
But if you
find a portal device, make sure you stay away from it.
Okay.
And be back home before sunset. Tell Kurusu that too.
Okay.
You really understand? You got a bad habit of doing whatever you feel like sometimes.
Do I? Maybe I do. I do whatever I do just to make you super famous, Takuru. But you know, I'm good at being sneaky. I'm sure nobody will find me.
She really is good at being sneaky. She ain't lying about that. I know that, but just be careful.
Okay, so I'll report in tomorrow.
I guess school's off tomorrow too, isn't it? So let's all meet up at the club room around noon.
Okay.
After I finished giving my instructions to Sarika, I made the same call to Ito. When I asked for his help, he was a little too eager to agree. He seemed like he'd been really bored the past few days. And the frustration had been building up, he'd said. Yeah, the poor man. He's like, the poor boy. He's the only one without magic powers. He's being mind controlled. Like, he did get a short end of the stick, huh? So I had him head north from Ibisu toward Shibuya Station. Once I'd finished telling him everything he needed to know, I hung up. Kazuki, it's time for us to go too. We decided to head from the dorm to the station, checking every back street and alley we found along the way. The first thing we did was head for the school. It was dead silent. There wasn't a single car. Not only were there no Hekio students, there weren't even any pedestrians. Had Shibuya ever been this empty at any time since the quake? The funny thing is this is literally like, well, the chapter is pandemic call, right? And you're like, there's a pandemic going on now and everybody's inside. But there were still people out. You could still go, okay, I gotta put on my mask. I gotta go to the grocery store. You're still getting groceries delivered. You could order takeout from places. Like, this is literally like, there is a fucking dragon. God knows where the fuck it is. Ain't nobody leaving their house. You better hope you have shit. Like, Or you're like skulking around in doorways hiding, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like terrifying. Yeah. 6 years ago, there had been rubble everywhere, and I felt so alone as I'd faced what seemed like the end of the world. But this seemed different. It didn't seem lonely, it seemed strange. The town was still pristine, but all the people were gone. It was like a ghost town. All the shops had their shutters lowered. They'd closed for the day, it seemed. Everyone had run off as fast as they could. It made sense after what they'd seen on live TV. We tried to pay as much attention to our surroundings as possible as we headed forward. I mean, I would hope so. We were especially careful at intersections. Another monster like that dragon could come rushing out of the shadows at any instant. That's true. I mean, it came out of the portal device, so if we ran into one of them, we wouldn't stand a chance. I could hear the faint sound of someone yelling into a microphone in the distance. The Shibuya area is extremely dangerous at this time. Please stay indoors and evacuate to designated safe zones. I could see a patrol car in the distance moving slowly. There was probably an officer inside the car using his microphone to urge people to evacuate. The car was slowly heading toward us. If we stayed out here, the policeman would tell us we had to leave Shibuya. That would be the end of our investigation. Kazuki, this way. I ducked down a narrow alleyway so the car wouldn't find us. I felt like a criminal running from the police. Of course, if the portal device's appearance really was our fault, maybe that wasn't totally wrong. We ran left and right through the maze of alleyways and finally came out in front of the parku. Parku. Oh, look, there's one. I gasped at what I saw there and quickly hid in the shadows. Kazuki wasn't as quick as I was, so I grabbed her hand and pulled. I ended up pulling her tightly up against my body with my arms around her. Sorry. I quickly let go. Kazuki didn't seem bothered by it. She just adjusted her glasses. Did you see that? This time I quietly popped my head out to take a look. There's one. Oh, no, okay, I didn't see the monster. I saw the thing. There was another portal device in front of the parku, and around it were 3 monsters. One was a yellow and black dragon. Was it a different colored version of the one that had eaten the reporter? Now that I saw it up close, I was astonished at its size. The other 2 were 2-legged giants covered in thick white fur, a little less than 3 meters tall. Their arms were as thick as tree trunks. Fortunately, none of them seemed to have noticed us. A poison heart dragon and 2 snowy liches. Liches? Anyway, maybe. Are they both ESO2 monsters? Kazuki nodded. It really did feel like I was looking at a computer model. It didn't seem real. It kind of stinks. I smelled something kind of rotten. It was a stinging stench that hung in the nose. I could see several red lumps around the feet of the monsters. I looked closely to see what they were and quickly realized they'd once been human. Ugh! And now they were just bloody lumps of flesh. They'd been crushed, torn apart, and left there. And it was more than 1 or 2 people. There were at least 10 of them lying on the ground. Ugh! When the number of portal devices had increased, so had the number of victims. Only then did I finally realize that the stench was coming from the corpses. Ugh! It was so awful, I wanted to throw up. I'd seen the reporter die on the news today. It had been a shock, but it also felt like seeing a movie. It hadn't seemed real. But this smell was different. It was all too real. It told me what I was seeing was real before my brain had even started to process it. But I couldn't just stand here in shock. I needed to continue my investigation. And that's the 3rd portal we've seen. Which meant it was safe to assume that there was a 4th and a 5th. How many of them were we going to find? Ito might be fine, but what about Serika and Kurusu? Maybe asking them for help is a mistake. I think it's so funny. Ito will be fine, but Serika and Kurusu... It's funny, because I guess it's because you don't know that Serika and Kurusu have magic powers, but they're more likely to be fine with their dai swords and shit than Ito. I'm just saying, he's pretty much the one who's the most fucked. I hadn't realized Shibuya was so dangerous. I mean... Is there any way to get rid of them, you think? Kazuki shook her head helplessly. It would be best if we could get rid of them, maybe. I don't know. What have you done before? You've made other things real before, right? What happened with them? Did they keep existing, or did they suddenly disappear at some point? For some reason, Kazuki smiled. Her smile was a mix of sadness and resignation. It was the only answer I needed. She seemed to be saying that there was no way we'd be lucky enough that they'd just disappear. Then, is Shibuya gonna be like this forever? Suddenly, I heard the faint noise of a car engine behind me. Just as I spun around, I heard the roar of a beast drown it out. It scared my bird.
Okay, buddy, it's fine. It's just a monster.
I looked down the hill and... Oh, shit. I saw a patrol car barreling toward us at top speed. Behind were 5 or so monsters storming after it. Oh, dear God. What is that? There were other monsters? And they weren't just wandering around near the portal device, but moving around the city? All 5 of them are the same type as the ones near the portal device. 3 were hairy giants and 2 were dragons. Wait, they're heading this way! And they were pretty fast, too. Even the cop car couldn't shake them off. I was just thinking that as we came out here, we're like, that poor cop car, he's out there screaming, like, out in the microphone, he's gonna attract these fuckers. Well, wait, that meant the car was bringing the monsters to us! Oh. It's just like ESO. Anyone who trains is a jerk or an idiot, maybe. Train. Game jargon, primarily used in MMORPGs, in games where monsters attempt to attack any player who comes within a certain distance. It's possible to move just out of the monster's attack radius, causing it to follow you. Multiple monsters can be gathered up in this manner, causing them to form a train behind the player. This is called training. Sometimes a player simply panics and trains by accident, but it's often done deliberately. There are many reasons someone might decide to try to do this, but because it can cause nearby players to be caught up in a fight against a large number of monsters, it's considered by most players to be bad manners. I didn't know if it was a common thing that people did, but I understood the nuance. Wow, the sound effects are really loud in this part. Hide! Let them pass us! Pass by us. I pulled Kazuki by the hand and ran down the stairs to a shop that sold grilled beef tongue. I hope you can hear me over the... like, it's loud on my TV, but it's really loud, and the sound effects are really loud. The bottom of the stairs was the entrance to the store, but all the lights were off inside. Hold on a second. I had turned up the sound effects volume can go down just a little. Okay, just a little bit. We'll turn it down just a little bit. It's still extremely loud, but it's a little bit. At the bottom of the stairs... Okay, we already read that. Lights were off inside. We would hide inside and wait for them to pass. I couldn't see what was going on outside from here. My only option was to rely on the sound. I could hear the sound of the police car and the sound of the monster's footsteps shaking the earth. Kazuki gripped my hand tight. I always forget that sometimes the sound effects go on for a while. If they'd already found us... Just imagining it made me shiver. I didn't think those huge monsters could fit down the tiny stairs, but... Was hiding down here a good idea? There was nowhere to run. Kazuki and I instinctively clutched each other tightly, holding our breath and concentrating on the sounds outside. I could hear the squeal of tires as the patrol car turned down the intersection in front of us. That poor patrol car is going to bust out into, like, 3 other monsters. The monsters howled again. The earth shook even more violently. It sounds terrifying. Please don't notice us. All I could do was pray. The sounds got further away. I couldn't hear the police car either. Are they gone? We're saved. You okay? It was then that I realized that Kazuki was clinging to me. Or more specifically, I was clinging to her. I'd been holding her so tight that her chest was heaving up and down in pain. I'm sorry. I quickly backed away. Kazuki fidgeted a little and took several deep breaths. Kenji Minamikata, the Cool Cat Press author, would have been able to come up with the perfect dandy remark to say at a time like this, I bet. No, I'm sure he's full of shit. He makes shit up. Like, oh, all the shit to do to get a girl to come back to your room with you. Here's all the cool shit to do. Oh, like when a girl's when she blinks at you, you should pin her up against a wall and kiss her. She likes that. I'm sorry, but I blink. It's not because I'm sexually attracted to you, buddy. Like, it's just. I walked up the stairs and took another look at the portal device in front of the parku. The monsters were gone. Park U. Maybe it's Park U. Like, maybe it should just be Park U, not Parku. Like, I don't know. I think there'd be a space if it was Park U. You know what I mean? The police car had drawn away the 3 monsters that were around the device. I figured, like, for some reason you're like, is it like a parking thing? But it's like, no, there's like stores and stuff, so it's like a store. We might be able to make it past now. The 2 of us looked at one another and out from the stairs. But as we tried to run down Spain Hill, we saw something and froze. The portal device was shining with a strange golden light. I could hear a large noise like clashing metal. I watched in shock as the light around the portal device began to coalesce into a monster. It was the same thing I'd seen on the news. Maybe it'll be like a knight or some dude with a sword, which meant that another one's coming out. I motioned to Kazuki and we quickly turned back. No, we just keep running past it. Run fast. By the time we made it back to the school, we were both too out of breath to run anymore. Were the monsters just going to keep appearing? If so, then maybe no one would be able to live in Shibuya anymore. And it'd be our fault. I suddenly heard a brief blast from a siren. See, that's quiet. It was another patrol car. Was it the one that had been training the monsters earlier? But I didn't see any monsters around. The patrol car stopped in front of us. The driver's side window opened and the officer within spoke to us. Did you see another car come this way? Kazuki and I both nodded. Where did you see it? Which way did it go? In front of the parku. I didn't know which way it had gone since I hadn't seen it myself. As we stood there in silence, the policeman motioned to us. Get inside, you two. It's dangerous out here. I'll take you somewhere safe. But do you want to get killed? There are monsters everywhere. Come on, get in. I almost told him that he should blame the patrol car that had been training back there, but I changed my mind. The policeman was risking his life trying to protect us. He was fighting to get people out of the city, even if it meant facing the risk of being attacked by monsters. I couldn't turn him down just because I wanted to continue my investigations. He's also like, where the hell's Tom? The next day, we all gathered in the club room. Ito had come all the way around from Harajuku, he'd said. It wasn't safe to walk around in Shibuya anymore. The school itself was supposed to be closed, which made sense because the portal device on the roof. But strangely, no monsters had appeared from the school's portal device. I didn't know why, though, because that's the only one Kazuki made. I'm telling you, frickin' the dude, Nightheart or whatever the fuck his name is, I forget his name, but that dude, I feel like he's the one lighting these other ones. Because nothing has come from the portal device on top of the school. But the other ones are making monsters, they're different. And it could be because, it spirals out of control. But weird that there's now there's 2 others that we know of. Aside from the one on the roof, unless Ito and Sarika Kurusu found other ones, but we know of 2 other ones, and it's just strange that they appeared and they're spitting out monsters. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yes, it could have been her, thing like an echo, like a bad game of telephone, right? But I feel like maybe he has something to do with it, I don't know. Oh, whoops. That would make sense why they were different, but it would also make sense if they were different because, she said portal device, and then someone kept thinking, and then it spiraled out of control. It makes sense, too, but Kurusu looked pale. Whenever I looked at her, she was silent and concerned. That was a normal reaction to what was happening in Shibuya, I thought. For his part, Ito didn't look tired at all. Whenever my eyes met his, he'd poke me with his elbow. He looks like he's enjoying this way too much. Hey, so when did you and Kazuki get like that? Get like what? Don't try and fool me. Never thought you were a normal, now you gone and left me behind. It's okay, Ito. We're still a little gay for you deep down inside. We just haven't admitted it yet. Oh, that's not what you mean by left you behind? Okay. Still, I'm amazed it was Kazuki, not Onoe or the Empress. I didn't expect her to be your type. Kazuki is best girl. She's fucking a little weird. And we love her, okay? So what? Are you feeding each other dried squid with your mouths? That's pretty naughty, damn it. What the hell was he talking about? Was he stupid? What was he talking about? Was he stupid? That's funny every time you say it, anyway.
Ito.
Oh. Kurusu glared at him. The ice in her stare was well below freezing.
If you're gonna be disgusting, would you please just leave now?
I'm sorry. I want to see Ito and Kurusu together, because she would just dominate his ass. Of course, so would Kunosato. And he likes that kind of shit. Kunosato would be better for him, actually. Yeah, we've said that before, because she'd just literally dominate the fuck out of him, and you know he's... I feel like that's why he says inappropriate shit, not just because he's a horny teenage boy, but just because he's gonna say stuff and he knows he's gonna get chided for it, and he just secretly fucking loves it. He's gonna go home and just, like, fantasize about Kurusu telling him off. He's probably doing it right now. Ito, get your hands out from underneath the table, you pervert. We're at school. Gross. Kurusu sighed and opened her bag. She'd brought an especially big bag today. She took some wrapped up boxes out of the bag and put them on the table. Are these guns?
Eat these with Kazuki later.
I unwrapped them and saw that they contained sandwiches. Oh, okay, well, guns would help us in this situation, but sandwiches are good too. I'm fine, though.
You're not fine. Do you think the convenience stores and supermarkets are open like usual? If you're not careful, you'll run out of food and be in big trouble.
To be honest, I was incredibly grateful. Just like Kurusu had said, none of the stores were open. Last night, we'd had to go all the way to Tomigaya. Yeah, Tomigaya. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Is it just Onoe's not here? She okay? He was right. Sarika wasn't here. A gnat in my house. I just set the meeting time to around noon, so it wasn't like she was late, but I was still worried. Yeah, well, all of our problems would be over if she was gone. I'm just saying. Maybe she's mind control. Well, maybe, like, did the night dude say anything about him having powers, or if he did, what his work? Because I feel like maybe. God, sorry. Maybe he's being mind controlled to, you know, create these other the portal devices with monsters. He doesn't know it. You don't know. Shibuya is swarming with monsters right now. If one of them attacked her on the way to school... Just as I was thinking about going to look for her, the door to the club room flung open and Sarika came running in.
Oh, everybody's here already. Am I late? If you're gonna be late, then send us a message. Don't you know what's happening out there? Sorry. Isn't it kind of exciting to be at school when no one else is around? I just went for a run around the gym.
Was that why she was late? I didn't know whether she was brave, thoughtless, or just dumb. I think it's so funny because we're like, God, she's such a fucking idiot. But she's really not. She's so fucking manipulative. She's actually probably the smartest character in this game because she knows how to, like, fucking fool everyone. She's like, oh my God, I went for a run around the gym. It was, like, so much fun. And then I got lost and we were here. And they're like, God, you're an idiot. And then she's like, I'm manipulating this whole fucking thing, you sons of bitches. You're my pawns. We literally are her pawns. I didn't know how she could laugh at a time like this. She's psychopath, that's why.
Oh, hey, did you not call Hina?
Why would we call Arimura? She wasn't a part of the newspaper club.
You were attacked by a woman who shot fire from her hands, right? I wondered if that might have something to do with this.
It does, but to be honest, it really doesn't.
Huh?
That doesn't make any sense. If nothing else, she's not going to attack us again, I think. I wasn't sure that I'd never see her again yet, but Arimura was fine after the attack, right? Oh my god, there's a gnat and it keeps flying in my face. Ugh.
Yeah, we were with her the whole time. She stayed at Aoba dorm that night. She was a lot calmer the next morning, so we sent her home.
And then there was no need to worry about her. I think it's funny, we're like, whatever. I don't care about Arimura. Because we're dating Kazuki now. I hope I killed that gnat then. It just keeps flying in my face. I think it's a mosquito. I don't know. Alright, can I get started? I asked y'all to go search Shibuya yesterday. And I'd like you to put together your findings to figure out how many portal devices are in Shibuya. Oh, maybe this is our map thing that we have to do. Huh. I explained to everyone. Sorry, I didn't read that. I explained to everyone. Okay. But they were called portal devices because they came from a game called ESO 2.
I don't understand. Can you explain better? What do these portal whatses have to do with you and Hana?
There's no real need to explain anything to you, is there, Onoe? You're not going to understand either way.
Oh, right.
That was good enough for her.
But I want to know anyway. Takeru, explain. People are dead. A lot of people. What are those monsters?
Oh, I saw them too. They were attacking a cop car, and then there was that first live broadcast. The hell are those things? Monsters. Literally. More and more are showing up all the time. And they're multiplying? Seriously?
There were bodies everywhere. It was awful. If you're saying that's your fault, then explain.
I might be able to talk my way out of explaining things to Serika or Ito, but it wasn't going to work on Karusu. I'd said on the phone yesterday that the portal devices and monsters might be my fault after all. Might be my fault after all. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't read that right. So she's basically saying, I mean, after all, I did say that might be my fault. I don't know why it just didn't come out right when I read it. Kazuki was standing in front of the whiteboard, staring down at her feet. It wouldn't be right to not explain. After all that had happened, there was no way I'd be able to keep it a secret. It would probably be better just to explain things to the people in the newspaper club. And so I told them everything, including the secret of Kazuki's power. At first, no one seemed to know how to react, and they all looked astonished. I thought Ida would tell me to stop joking around, but by the time I was halfway done, he was holding his head in his hands. Seriously? This is nuts. Do you believe me? I do. I've never been able to figure out why you and Kazuki were so close all of a sudden. Rude! What it had to do with magic powers, there's no way she'd get in touch with you. Hey, I'm not totally like... I kind of come off as a complete douche canoe, but like, I'm actually like a decent person on the inside, and I'm cute, Ito, shut up. Oh, shut up, Ito! I'm like totally fucking cute. I mean, I can't imagine you convincing Kazuki to be your girlfriend, but this explains it.
Is that what you're focusing on here?
Either way, I'm not interested in discussing whether what I said is true or not. Let me just focus on the portal devices now. Everyone nodded. Yep, okay. Alright, should we take turns telling you what we saw? Whether we saw any of those, what did you call them? Portal devices? The police actually found us and drove us out of Shibuya yesterday when I was in the patrol car. They told me what they knew. After everyone tells me what they saw, I'll compare it to what I heard from them. Okay, I'm gonna actually... Whoops, hold on. I'm gonna save here, because we have to fail this. I'm gonna go down here. Don't mind my weird saves. I'm gonna save over here. Okay. These are my saves for the... Okay, so that's the... So that we can get it wrong. You know what I mean? That's the Steam guide. We have to get it right. This is the other guide. Hold on, where is it? So I know where to put it. Because, like, the other map just shows, like, the general circle, and I'm like... And they said it's not translated. I don't know. It's been a long time. So it might be by now, so I don't know. Okay. Alright, I'll start. I found 2 portals. Ah, fuck. One was floating right in front of Shibuya Police Station, down Meiji Street between Abisu and the train station. Right in front of Shibuya Police Station, huh? And turned around and headed across Shibuya River towards Sakura-Okacho? Sakura-Okacho. 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 Towards Sakura-Okacho. And when I tried to cross Roppongi Street, I saw one at Shibuya Station's South Exit Bus Terminal. South Exit Bus Terminal. Those monsters are nasty, huh? Then one of the Easter Island statues had gotten up and started walking around. In front of the Shibuya Police Station on Meiji Street. Meiji Street, yeah. And the South Exit Bus Terminal at Shibuya Station, right? I should mark this on the map. Oh, a quick save's here. Interesting. Oh. Oh! Oh, shit. How am I supposed to know which one's... Oh, yeah, okay. It's like Shibuya Station, like, but it's like you've got to just guess where the fuck you're supposed to, because it doesn't tell you. So you literally have to... And the pictures are so faint. I think this is it. That looks like the police station. I think that's the right one. Okay, and then the other one is this one. Is that it? That doesn't look right. No, it is on the highway. Okay, yeah, I guess that's it. Okay. I think that's it. Well, fuck. Well, we might get the bad ending if I fail this. I'm not 100% sure. It's really hard to see. That sucks. How about you two, Onoe?
We found 2. Oh, but one of them was the one from the news yesterday.
And that's the one behind Sign City, right? Sign City was a pair of buildings right on the west side of Shibuya Station. It was a hotel and office complex with its own private railroad. It had survived the earthquake 6 years ago.
And that's right. We went down a tiny alley on our way through Dogonzaka.
In Dogonzaka, huh?
The other one was right in front of the 107.
In Dogonzaka. Oh, shit. Okay, so this one looks like it's... Oh, he put that one on its own. Okay. And in front of the 107. Oh, okay, that's the one. I should mark that information down too. Okay, that one auto goes. And then this one looks like it's in front of the maybe it's the one on the river. I think it's the one on the river. I think it's this. See, it doesn't light up and tell you. It's really hard to like... Oh, well, you can see 107 on there. But like everything else is in Japanese and you're like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Like, but 107 is right there. Okay, and that's what it looks like. This is like... Oh, yeah, the other map is way bigger. It's a little bit clearer to see on the river, on the thing. Yeah, okay, so we got it right, so... And that matches what I heard from the police. We found one device. It was right in front of the parku. Huh. The police seem to think that the monsters are active within a 100-meter radius of the portal devices. That was probably just as close as any of them dared to get. Of course, there was a chance that even if you got that close, the monsters wouldn't see you, or that they'd attack you outside of that area. Do the police know where all the portals are? Yeah, in addition to the ones you found. Oh, God. I mean, shit. There's a lot. There's a lot of these. Oh, my God. What the fuck? Is that us right there, the 5th one, the school? That's a lot. And that seems about right. Huh. It looks like they're surrounding the station.
Does that mean anything?
Does it mean anything? Maybe they don't want people in Shibuya using the station.
Why?
Don't ask me. I was trying to figure out, I mean...
Hey, Hana, do you know?
Kazuki was still staring at her feet.
Oh, sorry. I'm not saying it's your fault, Hana. I was just trying to figure it out.
There's no meaning. It's all coincidence. I spoke as if to reprove Sarika. But it was just as Nightheart had told me. I told you, right? Kazuki can't control her power. The fact that portal devices are showing up at places people go a lot is proof of that. It's easier for her delusions to echo in places like that.
I understand?
Don't tilt your head in confusion when you say you understand. You don't understand at all. Anyway, this is really bad.
What's bad?
This whole thing? There are a lot of people stuck in the Hikario. Huh? Who? Weren't they supposed to evacuate all the people left in the station? Shibuya had been put under a heavy curfew yesterday. The police had gone around evacuating anyone they could find. Last night, all the train companies had stopped transit to Shibuya Station. They weren't sure the station would be safe. The station had been shut down and the shutters lowered. Well, we said outside of the police station, right? But that's the train station, I'm assuming, right there. Is the police station right out in front of the train station? I mean, that would make sense. A lot of people have been trapped then, and there was a big debate online about how to get them out. As of this morning, one of the railroad companies had put together a desperate plan to send a train to the station and get the people out. I heard there's a bunch of people who deliberately didn't evacuate, and they're all in the Hikario. You know, there's all those homeless people in Miyashita Park, right? Those guys? I see. They don't have anywhere else to go. Then was Gen there too? Who knew how safe it would be?
The station's been sealed off, right?
It's kind of like it was 6 years ago. Don't you think so, Taku? Don't say that. A month ago, I would have been so excited. But only because I wasn't directly involved. But now things were different. I was partially to blame for this. I couldn't feel any excitement at all. We all tried to come up with plans to fix things, but no one had any real ideas. Well, I mean, okay, it makes sense. Okay, those are areas where a lot of people are always congregating, and that's why they spawn there. But you could see the one that furthest out was probably the school that we didn't put a circle around, and it's like all the other ones are kind of around the station, and then there's the one by the school. It's off in the middle of fucking nowhere. So, I mean, does that make it look like Nightheart or whatever is a little sus? Or is it the way we said in our theory that, like, oh, that's because a lot of people go there, so of course the delusions would, like, echo out there faster, you know? Who knows? We all tried to come up with plans to fix things, but no one had any real ideas. We knew the answer from the beginning. Since there was no way to control Kazuki's power, there was no way for her to get rid of her delusions. After about 2 hours, we started to realize that it might not be safe to stay at the school and decided to head home.
Chikuru, you don't have anywhere to go. Oh, do you? Why not come home?
I do. I have a fucking trailer. By home, she meant Aoba dorm. She was right that I couldn't go back to Miyashita Park. There might be monsters there now.
Taku's staying with Hana now, right?
Hell, lewd. Kazuki shook her head furiously. Hey, Miyashiro, are you taking baths while you're there? You run into her naked in the bath yet? That was all Ito seemed to care about. Ito is such a pervert. And then everybody gets mad at me, though. We are a little pervy, but he's worse.
Ito, enough. I don't know if that ever actually happens.
I mean, they're always together, right? It wouldn't make sense. Kazuki's face turned bright red as she pounded the wall. Now you pissed off Kazuki. Nothing like that's happened, she says. I see. Sorry. It was rare to see Kazuki so upset. Because you're, like, insulting the poor girl. Like, and besides, even if she wanted to put out, like, even if we wanted to get down and dirty, okay, and we were doing those things, it's none of your business, Ito. Not at least in public. I'll tell you in private, man, but, like, don't bring that shit up in front of my girl. Let her, like, keep her dignity, okay? Like, people have sex. That's fine. But you don't need to broadcast it, okay? It's okay to keep things private. It's fine. It's all right.
So, Takeru, what will you do? Come home?
I want to stay with Kazuki. No, I won't. I can't leave Kazuki alone. We also don't want to leave Kazuki alone. Yeah.
Then both of you can come.
I can't do that. It might put the dorm in danger.
That's not... Taku, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go, everybody. Come on, you two, Non. Wait, Sarika. Taku, Hana, bye.
Sarika being a good wingman, even though she's a psychopath. Sarika smiled and waved, then grabbed Ito and Kurusu by the hand and went to leave the room. You can't, like, even though she's a psychopath and, like, you want to hate her a little, like, because she's a psychopath, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're like, she's, like, still can be a good wingman, and she's still, like, I still like her a little bit. I like her and I hate her at the same time. I like her because I liked her in the very beginning. She was one of the better. You're like, she's a good character. I like her. She's funny. She's cute. Okay, look at her. Whatever. She's an idiot. We're great. And then she turned into a psychopath, and you're like, oh, wow. Wow. I like her for different reasons for that, because it's like, damn. Good. Bravo, game. Didn't see that one coming. Like, I mean, I sort of did. We got to a point, and I was like, did we make her up? Is she an imaginary... She's an imaginary friend? And then, but then she was behind everything. It's like, oh. What? So, like, you know, I appreciate that. I still like her wingmanship going on. And, like, she's a good character. But I hate her because she's a psychopath. And, like, she probably has something to do with all this. And, like, look, we just want to live a happy life, man. But then again, we're also to blame for some of it. So, I don't know. You love her and you hate her sometimes. Sometimes you're like, fuck you, Sarika. I know what you're doing. And then other times you're like, but it's kind of genius and a little bit's my fault, but you're still kind of a good wingman. Like, I don't know.
Takeru, take care of Kazuki. If something happens, call me right away. Got it?
Yeah. See, this is the point where, like, you would think Kurusu would be like, oh my god, I have powers too. Maybe my powers can help. But whatever power she has is obviously useless in this situation. Or they just don't want... I mean, we know she has powers, but I guess they don't want you to know what her power is or anything like that. Like... Oh my god, maybe she's Senri. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want you to know what her power is until her route, which is why she just never says anything. But when it comes to something like this and it's mythical and magical, and maybe our powers can stop that... I mean, like, Artemura's powers can't, but she has a dai sword, so maybe we all learn to fight with swords and we can do this. But, like, Kurusu is just like, nope, just normal girl. You are a magical girl, just like I'm a magical girl, just like Kazuki and Artemura are magical girls, and so's Onoe. For fuck's sake, we're gonna need our magical girls to step the fuck forward, okay? I'm just saying. Kurusu looked like she wanted to say more, but Sarika dragged her out of the room before she could. Kazuki and I were left alone in the club room. I just decided that on my own. Was that okay? If you don't want me coming over anymore, tell me. She shook her head again. That was all she'd been doing lately. But then she suddenly started to talk. She'd been so insistent about not talking when everyone else was around. Did that mean she trusted me? Is Sarika gonna be upset? Upset? If you come to my room, Sarika might be upset, maybe. Why? Because you two are dating, right? Huh? No, we are not. But you're always together, maybe. Because we've known each other since we were kids. You're not dating. I didn't know that, maybe. Had Kazuki gotten mad back there because she didn't want Sarika misunderstanding things? If so, then she'd been wasting her time. Still, I can't believe you thought that. I'm a little surprised. You didn't seem like you cared about anyone else. Anyway, let's go home. It might be dangerous here. But then I realized Kazuki had sat down at the PC to play ESO2. And she had her headphones on. Wait, when did you start the game? Sheesh. She must have been really excited to play her game. You know what? Here you go. Kazuki, grab the monitor and the keyboard. Put the mouse in a bag. I will grab the computer. We'll fucking take it home. No one will know. Kazuki's gaze was locked on the monitor. She didn't look away for an instant. Her concentration was palpable. No one else is here. We'll just take the computer. We'll borrow it. We'll leave a note. I owe you the computer back. If I interrupted her, she might punch me instead of the wall. It wouldn't hurt to let her play for a while. Since I didn't have much to do while she was playing her game, I decided to go up to the roof. Of course, I didn't go to the back. I just went up past the crumbling stairs to look outside. The portal device was still floating out there. But unlike the one in front of Parku, there were no bodies anywhere. Just a single red stain on the floor. Were monsters not going to appear from this one? See, this one is different. It also, I mean, we never got close to the other ones, but it might look a little different. I felt an indescribable terror welling up within me. It was so scary being here alone. I ran back to the club room. I was like, is the sky gonna change? Like, what's happening? Once Kazuki started her game, she wouldn't take her headphones off no matter how much I yelled at her. She was totally lost within her game and had totally forgotten I'd ever existed. That's right. That's who Hana Kazuki was. She wouldn't normally use her power to save me, regardless of the risks, or let me stay at her room. Normally, this was who she was. I'd been living with her in the same room for a few days, and so I'd forgotten that. Still, I was amazed how she could play a game for so long without any breaks. Didn't she ever have to go to the bathroom? She's just peeing on the chair right there. Actually, I remember that Cool Cat Press had once done an article on gamers who never left their seats. They said a true gamer would rather keep playing than take the time to go to the bathroom. So if they had to go, they used a plastic soda bottle or something like that. I mean, if you've got a penis, it makes sense, but, like, it's a little hard to try to do that. Like, if you're going to try to do that as a woman, like, okay, let me get a soda bottle, let me do... You might as well just... You have to put the game down long enough to do that. You might as well just walk to the fucking bathroom. I'm just saying. Hold on, I got a bucket right here. Just pee in a bedpan. Like, when I'd seen the article, I thought it had to be fiction. But watching Kazuki, it wasn't so sure. Unless you have a shiwi, I guess. Wait, did Kazuki ever go in soda bottles? No. What the hell am I thinking? Ever since I'd started living in the same room, I'd started having more and more delusions like that. Maybe it was just because I was a boy undergoing puberty. I like the fact that I'm just a horny teenager. Yes. But later I'd come to hate myself for feeling that way, given all that was going on. A huge noise almost caused me to jump up in the air. Yeah, I wanted to be scared for like, oh my god, but it's just Kazuki, you know it is. Kazuki had hit the wall again. What had happened this time to upset her? This is what, like, all those of us who binge, like, things like Sims or games like this, or Otome games, which is 90% of what we do. You just need a man to understand, I am going to play my Otome games, you just sit there and be quiet and look pretty. Just like my Otome boyfriends. Like, I'm going to need you to leave me alone several hours a day so I can get my binge on, and then I'll pay attention to you, and that's fine. But, like, my 2D husbands come first. I have to take care of them, okay? Like, they take care of me. I have to take care of them. Like, I looked outside the window. The sky was turning red. It was surprisingly noisy outside. It's different if you don't record your games, because then you can, like, just sit there and, like, I'll play a game on my computer, you play a game, and, like, you're together, but you're not. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't bother me. Like, I'll read a book while you play a game. Like, we're in the same room, so technically we're together, but we don't have to be like, oh my god, I'm looking directly at you and I'm talking to you and my focus is on you and that's... No, we can do our own thing in the same room, and that to me counts as togetherness without being social. Like, it's a very introverted way of being social, right? Like, but when you record, you're like, no, I'm going to go in the other room and play my games. You play your games and do whatever. And it's like, because, like, you want to spend time with the person you're dating, obviously. But, like, when you get to the point where you're like, then you live together, you're like, I'm going to need my own time. You go into your room and play your games. I'll go into my room and play my games, and we'll be apart for a couple, and it'll be fine. And then we'll eat dinner together and like maybe watch some TV or whatever. And then we just like, I'm just saying, I only play my games for a couple hours a day, except for on like weekends, then like Friday and Saturdays because I got nothing better to do. But during the week, because I work from home now, because of the pandemic and everything, I'll sometimes play at lunch, do a part, and I might do like 2 parts in the afternoon. But like when I go back, so the days I work from home, when we go back into the office, I'll be able to probably do that. So I can get 2 to 3 hours done a day. But like other days, if I'm going into the office, I might only be able to get 1 to 2. So you know what I mean? Like if I can get 5 to 10 hours done in a week, that's awesome. Sometimes I can get more, but like, and then a couple of hours playing Sims on the weekend. That's usually all I do. I usually don't play Atome games or visual novel games or any of the other stuff on the weekends. It's only Monday through Friday. Because Sunday is just lounge on the couch, do nothing, and just feel sad because it's you wasted an entire day. But then if I play games and it's like, oh, now I have to go to bed. Wait, like, I gotta have my unwind time to like veg on the couch for a couple of hours before I have to go to bed, as opposed to like, okay, I played a game and then I logged off and then okay, now we get ready and we go to bed. I can't do that. I need like the unwind time. It's weird. Anyway, it was surprisingly noisy outside. There wasn't a single person inside or outside the school, but the noise was coming from the police sirens on the ground and media helicopters up above. The media had decided it was too risky to head into Shibuya directly, so they were forced to do their reporting from the sky. You don't know that the dragons can't shoot fire? Wasn't one of them like a fire dragon or some shit? Still, it felt like they'd been there all day, from morning to night. I was amazed they hadn't gotten bored. Without anyone here in Shibuya, it wasn't like there was anything that could happen. They need to, like, get some fucking, like, sniper rifles and snipe those fucking monsters. Jesus. And I thought I heard a different noise than the sound of the helicopter rotors. Footsteps. I held my breath and listened. It's terrifying. Didn't seem like I was imagining it. I could hear the sound. It was a sound I'd normally never pay attention to, but a sound that I definitely shouldn't have heard in this building. Someone's footsteps were coming down the hall. And it's just going to be somewhat innocuous, but it's terrifying because you're like, oh god, we're supposed to be alone in the world. Who is it? That was enough to bring back my memory of several days ago. Was that woman still alive? Particularly nasty sweat started to pour out of my body. I tried my best not to make a sound as I concentrated all my focus into my ears. The footsteps didn't sound like the person was wearing heels. I didn't hear any dragging. It wasn't that woman. At least that's what I wanted to believe. But then who? Was someone besides us in the school? It's so funny because it's like a meticulous, like, click, slow, sinister walk, as opposed to like just someone walking normally and comes in and was like, oh, hey, it's just me. But who? The others had gone home hours ago. Had they come back? But then wouldn't they call or text me first? I'd peeked into the teacher's office when I'd arrived and there was no one there. The only other possibility I can think of was that someone besides us had ignored the police warning and stayed in Shibuya. The footsteps were getting closer. They're looting the school. We should have taken the computer and gone back to Kazuki's house. It would have been safer there. I tapped Kazuki on the shoulder and made her take off her headphones. Someone's coming. Someone's coming. What should we do? Get your dice swords ready. Hide? Run out into the hallway? They probably knew we were here. Could you imagine you bust out the door? Ah! And it's just fucking someone. Ah! Fucking Arimura. Nobody would come all the way to the 5th floor of this building otherwise. But then who could they be? Maybe the mastermind who was controlling that woman. It would just be so funny if he jumped down and scared the shit out of Ito. He was like, I was bored. If that was the case, it'd be a bad idea to try and hide. But it didn't seem like Kazuki and I would be able to fight them. We had to run. It was better than hiding. She's like, let me say my game. Kazuki, we're going to run. I saw Kazuki nod, then took a deep breath and opened the door. I ran out into the hallway. But there was someone standing there and I ran straight into them. Ah! I lost my balance and almost fell over. Someone grabbed my hand as it flailed out into the air. Are you okay? Huh? It was only then that I realized who it was. It's Wakui. I mean, it said teacher, and I was like, he's the only person that would probably be here. Now, do we think you're sus as fuck? Maybe he's that night dude. Like, because he's got a Sprite, and you haven't... You have got to be... Oh my god, you're part of the freaking thing, aren't you? See... He's so innocuous and in the background, but I still think he's sus as fuck, because, like, I think everyone's sus as fuck. Like, Sarika did it! It was Ito! It was Wakui! Sarika and Ito kind of did do it. But, like, and I didn't suspect our dad, because it was like, oh, that's his role. And then you've just got this teacher, you're just randomly here, and you seem like you don't know what's going on, and Sarika doesn't seem to know what's going on, but she's a fucking criminal mastermind, so what's your deal, buddy, right? Mr. Wakui? Hey, so it was you guys, huh? I don't know the thing. The language teacher and advisor for the newspaper club and student council looked at us both and grinned. I don't remember the voice I gave him, but... There was a call from some of the parents. Wakui nibbled on the dried squid Kazuki offered him as he explained. They were showing shots of Shibuya from the sky in the news, and someone said they saw people in the building. So I came to check on you. Sheesh, they can't cut me a break, huh? All I could do was laugh. It was just like Wakui to end up being forced into coming here because he couldn't bring himself to refuse. We'd managed to make it here because we knew a lot about the situation in Shibuya, but Wakui must have come without doing any research at all. Wrong-siders like him are always the first to die. And yet, here he is, and you keep saying wrong-sider, and that just makes me think that he is going to be part of, like, the collective, or whatever the fuck it's called. I can't believe he's just an innocent bystander. Okay, I'm just saying. Too much time in peaceful Japan had addled his brain. What were you doing? They closed the school because it's dangerous. Now, how to talk my way out of this? There was no point in telling Wakui the truth. As I tried to figure out the best way, Kazuki walked back to the computer and booted up ESO2 again. Wakui stared at her suspiciously for a moment. Were you playing video games? Kazuki nodded without looking away from the screen. Good girl. So that's why? You guys know people have died, right? It's safer to be inside the school than outside, right? But wouldn't it be even safer to leave Shibuya altogether? I live in Miyashita Park. Oh, right. There's nowhere you can go? Some relatives' place? This conversation was pointless. I'd known Wakui since I started the newspaper club. Had I never told him that I didn't have any relatives? Anyway, I do understand how you feel. Huh? I mean, Shibuya's basically under martial law, right? It's not every day that you get to experience that. He is that person who's like, it's not every day you get to experience a pandemic and have to be, like, locked inside and shit, and, like, it's like a plague. It's kind of neat. Jesus Christ, Wakui, you are the weirdest fuck. I mean, hey, if you gotta look on the bright side, I guess, but, like, I mean, there's other ways to look on the bright side without sounding like a crazy person. Even if you know it's dangerous, you still want to experience it, I guess. I guess it's one of the follies of youth. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that, honestly. Oh, you seem confused to hear that. Just so you know, I was young once, too. Yeah, and you were smoking doobies in the back of a van with a dog, weren't you, Shaggy? Uh-huh. I hadn't been confused. I'd been bored. Felt like this was going to take a while. And he was totally trying to pull off that teacher who understands his students act. There's nothing wrong with that, Mr. Wakui, but you're wasting your time trying to understand me and Kazuki right now. It sounds pompous when we say it, but at the same time, it's absolutely true. The young always want to rebel against the system, against the adults. In fact, the first few decades after World War II, Japan was filled with young people like that. I guess it was around my parents' generation when things started to calm down. They were a little too understanding, you see, especially my generation and the ones after us. Huh. I wasn't sure how to respond to this. What was the best way to get rid of this guy? I couldn't let him find out that Kazuki and I were staying in the same room, which meant that ideally I wanted to leave the school without him. My phone started to vibrate in my pocket. Wakui was still talking, but I took it out anyway as a sign that I wasn't interested in hearing what he had to say. I had a message. It was from Kazuki. From Kazuki? I looked up. Kazuki was still playing ESO2 with her back to me. But when I looked carefully, I saw that she was holding her smartphone with the hand that wasn't holding the mouse. Why would she send me a text message if I was standing right in front of her? It wasn't always so hard to tell what Kazuki was thinking. It was always so hard to tell what Kazuki was thinking, wow. Or maybe there was something important that she couldn't tell me because Wakui was here. Anyway, I looked at the message. Huh. Miyashiro, is something wrong? Oh, no. Yeah, alright. Anyway, where was I? Well, you see... Wakui was still talking. Was he always this talkative? My heart was pounding loud and fast. My mind still couldn't process it. I couldn't believe what I just saw in that text message. I took another look at it, being careful not to let Wakui see. Message from Nightheart. Mr. Wakui is an assassin from the committee. I told you! I don't know if Nightheart is, like, legitly telling us this, but this does not surprise me. What was I just like? He's sus as fuck. Like, come on. Yeah, whatever. He's gonna bore us. We should text her back and be like, not surprised. I think he's gonna bore me to death right now. The committee would be the committee of 300 that Nightheart had been talking about, right? I told you this. I kind of thought he was sus from the very beginning and he had something to do with shit, and this makes sense. So, their assassin was Wakui? The language teacher? The guy was rambling on in front of me. Well, he is going to bore you to death. I'm just saying. By the way, what was the name of that thing you were looking into? Huh? You know, the one on the board. Did you find something out? Like, no, we kind of gave up on that because there's monsters. Just say that. Should I believe him or not? Nightheart had said that the Committee of 300 might take action, but he hadn't told me why. What were they after? If he was an assassin, were they trying to kill me and Kazuki? Did they not like what was happening in Shibuya right now? Of course, no one would like it, not just the committee. But killing us wouldn't make things better. Did the committee not know that? But if I told them, would they really just leave me alone? Or was there another reason they wanted to kill us? I didn't know. There was no way for me to know. It was all just guesses. Was what Nightheart said even true anyway? Did the Committee of 300 really exist? Where did he find out? How? What was his source? Looking back, it was hard to say if he was even on our side. Oh my god, Nightheart is fucking Kunosato. That would actually be funny. She's K on the news. She's fucking, like, what, Nightheart. She's just you're like, are you literally doing everything? She's like, I control fucking everything. How are you not the Committee of 300 yourself, woman? Oh my god. Kazuki seemed to trust him, though. Was it possible that Nightheart was the real assassin? If I wanted to be really skeptical, I couldn't even be sure that Nightheart had contacted Kazuki just now. There was a chance she was lying to me. I didn't know why, but there was a chance she might be trying to make me think Wakui was a bad guy. There were all sorts of things to doubt. I was so confused. What should I believe in? Who? Who should I believe? Who was I supposed to believe? I would believe Kazuki, and if she stabs us in the back, then whoops. I guess I deserve that. Hey, Miyashiro? Hearing my name called shook me out of the trance. I know we're way over, but evidently I've been lost in thought. I didn't think it was gonna twist like this now, you know? You look kind of pale. Oh, no. What were we talking about again? About the case? That's right. You were doing a lot of crazy things while you were looking into it, right? Kazuki looked over his shoulder at me. When I saw the little bit of fear in her eyes, I made my decision. That's right. Whether or not I could trust Nightheart, there was no way I couldn't trust Kazuki. She wasn't the type of person who could lie to someone. Well, she can't even talk, so, I mean, she can, but she doesn't. And it didn't make a lot of sense for Wakui to be here right now. He was the type of person who'd go out of his way to avoid trouble. Would he really put himself in danger by coming to Shibuya just because a parent had called? And Kurusu was complaining to me a long time ago. She said that you weren't listening to anything she said, just she wanted me to talk to you. Huh. But then why was Wakui rambling like this? If he was an assassin, wouldn't he just try to kill us? They wouldn't send a complete amateur. He should be capable of killing us. Yeah, he's gonna bore you to death. I realized I was more nervous than I thought. But I couldn't let it show. If Wakui found out, I was finished. You know, when I was a student, I would hear about wars and terrorist attacks going on all over the world, and I'd think about it a lot. I actually ended up putting on a backpack and going on a trip. You know, one of those find yourself trips. I'm kind of surprised. Right? I was young then. What could be the reason that Wakui was still talking about all this? What could be the reason that he's still talking about all this? I'm going to stop here. I wanted to continue and I figured there would be a point, but like we're 10 minutes over and like I don't think we're going to get to the point where there's like a fade out or like, and then he attacked us and then we ran and then where you could stop, you know? So I think we're just going to stop here and sort of leave us hanging on what could be the reason that Wakui is still talking about all this? And let you ponder it while Miyashiro ponders it. Well, I don't ponder it. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.